Johnny Anderson from Decatur, Indiana, and Donnie Breneman from Austin, Texas, as they go to the top of the racetrack out here tonight. As our ramp attendants quickly remove the ramp elevations from the racetrack. Here they're going to be moving a little wheelie exhibition out here tonight, practicing up for some upcoming events coming up in this evening's show. Now, Donnie Breneman is international trick and fancy riding motorcycle expert. We'll be telling you a little bit about that later on in the show. Donnie Breneman and Johnny Anderson is three-time Indiana motocross champion. Here he comes out of the top of the turn. Johnny Anderson first boarding that motorcycle up on that back wheel, holding it down in front of the grandstand. Oh, the way into turn number 4 out here tonight. Man, they're getting warmed up. Here comes Donnie. He pulls it back, balancing, maintaining the balance. Way down through the fire, down the center section of the racetrack into the top of turn number 4 here this evening. Here comes Johnny Anderson back. Look what he's doing now. He's on the high side. It looks like he's standing out the back of that motorcycle as his uniform flutters in the wind out there tonight. Young Johnny Anderson takes it all the way down to the top of the turn and setting it down in the top of turn number 1. Here comes Donnie right behind him out here tonight. Donnie Breneman from Austin, Texas. Oh, with one hand, a kneeling wheelie out there tonight. And Donnie sets that out in the top of the turn out here this evening. Here comes Johnny back from the opposite direction. Let's see what he has in store for us now. Okay, he's up, and away, holding the balance, maintaining it, a standing wheelie on the back pegs of that motorcycle on the back of the seat this time as he sets it down on the top of turn number 4, moving from the bottom pegs to the higher back pegs. Here comes Donnie Breneman. Looks like he's maintaining a little height out there tonight. He takes it up with one hand, a one-handed standing wheelie by our Donnie Breneman here this evening as he moves to the top. Here comes Johnny back from the opposite direction. Non-stop motorcycle action out here tonight. A one-handed wheelie by Johnny Anderson as he sets his down in the top of turn number 1 out here this evening. Here comes Donnie Breneman once again out of the top of the turn. He's up, maintaining, standing. Look at this, a one-legged wheelie out there tonight by our Donnie Breneman from Austin, Texas, as he sets it down at the top of the turn once again. Well, after that grueling ordeal of motorcycle madness, we're going to be bringing back our dynamic duo of motorcycle daredevils out here tonight. They're going to bring them conveniently in right in front of the grandstand. They're going to park them in that familiar, quick-braking, grinding hall in front of the seats. And when they do, I know that you're going to want to join in giving them a nice round of applause. At Ashland, Ohio, welcome back for Johnny Anderson and Donnie Breneman, and there they are. Johnny Anderson and Donnie Breneman. Well, we told you a little bit about Johnny Anderson earlier as being the three-time Indiana motocross champion, but now we're going to tell you a little bit more about Donnie Breneman. Donnie Breneman last year in the Houston Astrodome in front of a crowd of 82,000 people acclaimed the title of International Trick and Fancy Riding Expert. Now, trick and fancy riding is not riding a motorcycle on one wheel. It's not a speed show with a motorcycle on 2 wheels, but it's acrobatics while on a motorcycle while changing weight and balance. So Donnie, if you're set and ready, let's go to the top of the turn. Donnie Breneman from Austin, Texas. And when Donnie returns here tonight, he's going to be riding his motorcycle on 2 wheels, giving you 5 of the events in which he did in front of that crowd of 82,000 people that threw the judges into giving him that number 1 position. Here he comes now. Watch this. Up sideways on a motorcycle. And with the balance here tonight, look at that. A cross-balance riding expertise movement by Donnie Breneman out here this evening. Okay, now that was one of them. Now watch Donnie when he comes back. Now you must remember that Donnie Breneman is 6'4" and weighs 207 pounds. Now that's kind of big for a motorcycle rider. His weight and balance is really off. Let's watch him. He's up. He spins around. Backwards, no hands, no feet. Now watch him as he does his exercises. He does push-ups on the seat. Look at that. Gets up, turns around, and sits back down. What an excellent display of motorcycle balance with Donnie Breneman out here this evening. Oh, yes. He's not finished yet. Look at this. He's up. He's around, still maintaining the balance. He stands up with no hands and 1 foot. Hey, Donnie's, he takes it to the top of the turn and spinning it around once again. Well, let's take a little recap here this evening. Donnie's ridden the motorcycle frontwards. He's ridden the motorcycle backwards, and he's ridden the motorcycle standing up. The only way left to do it here this evening is but taking a nap and lying down. Would you look at this, ladies and gentlemen? In that prone position out here tonight, still maintaining that balance is our Donnie Breneman. Can you imagine driving down Route 42 and seeing that coming at you at 2 in the morning? Yeah, too many scotch and waters, right? Okay, now let's watch him back as if he turns from the opposite direction. He's up, maintaining what a display of style, poise, and grace out here this evening by Donnie Breneman, as he has thrilled you as he did 82,000 people in the Houston Astrodome last year. Well, let's watch Donnie now, because he's going to be returning, and then and only then he'll be able to hear your applause. But when he returns to the grandstand, he's going to be doing it just a little bit different. His unique way of thanking each and every one of you for letting him perform for you tonight here at your Ashland County Fair. He'll bring it in backwards under full speed and power and slide it into a salute for all. What do you say to Mr. Donnie Breneman? Donnie Breneman and a magnificent art of motorcycle riding out here this evening. Well, Donnie will be parking his in the top. Wait a minute. What in the world? What is this out on the racetrack? Dun 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 dun. Wait a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to apologize right now for the inconvenience that this gentleman has been causing tonight, stalling the show. I don't know who this is or that contraption. Excuse me, sir. Who are you? Identify yourself. Who's me? Not me. Who are you? Captain Cookie. And I assume that you're in part of the military service, Captain. You've dawned us this evening with your presence. But since you're here, Captain Cookie, yes, sir. What is that thing you're wearing on your head? Your bell helmet? They said you were a ding-a-ling and you had to wear the darn thing, huh? What's that thing you have in your hand? Yeah, it's that thing. It's your attention getter, and what do you use that for? Whoever needs it. Okay. Well, Captain Cookie, we're so glad you're here, but could you kindly identify that contraption that you rode in on? No, not that. The thing. Your rusty, trusty steed. That's beautiful. It's magnificent, sir. I must commend you on such a beautiful piece of machinery. Well, now that you brought it out here, you've showed it to everyone. Would you kindly get it off the racetrack? Choke that thing, start it up and get it out of here. What are you doing? I don't mean choke it like that. Kickstart it. No, 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 no. Fire it up. You can't fire a piece of machinery. Jump start the thing and get it out of here. What are you doing? Jump start it. You can't do that. Ouch! Is that the look of pain or pleasure? Yes, sir. Okay, we understand. Fire that thing up. He's fired. And with the mighty roar of that engine, he thunders into the turn out here tonight. Wait a minute. What do you think you are anyway? The space shuttle? Beam me up, Scotty? I don't think you understand, sir. Rockets away, bombs away, projectiles in the air, sir. That is not the shuttle, and you can't beam anywhere. Fire it up. Start it up. He's fired. And with a mighty roar of that 1.5 horsepower Briggs & Stratton engine, he thunders into the turn. Caution to the wind. Let's have a nice round of applause for Captain Cookie. He sails into the sunset tonight. Captain Cookie, farewell forever. Thank God we got rid of him. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, back to the show. And again, I'm sorry for inconveniencing you out here this evening, as we're going to get set and ready now to bring to the racetrack one of the other vehicles here for the Hollywood. Excuse me. You're wandering around here like a bellowing, bangy idiot, stopping the show, stopping the entire performance, yelling to all the fine folks who paid dearly to come see this performance tonight, and that you're ruining this entire show, that there is an emergency on the racetrack, and there isn't even a vehicle in sight. What's the emergency? You've got to go. Oh, that's right. We've got a big show coming up in Groce, Pennsylvania tomorrow night. Later. Oh, I know you want to go over here and get one of those fine apple dumplings with all that ice cream. After the show? Well, I don't understand it when you say you have to go. You what? You have to go to the bathroom? Right here in front of everybody? Well, hey, Cookie, do you know Bernard Johnson? Yeah, you know, he's the secretary of the fair, the manager. He's the guy that's done such a great job here with his whole staff and crew and their directors and putting the fair together. Well, Mr. Johnson did something very special this year that he's very proud of at the fair. Yes, he built this rest facility right here by the finishing line for the horse races. Thanks, he said, Bernard, thanks. Take your jacket off and hurry up and use it. You'll just be a minute. What are you doing in there? None of my bit. You're reading the walls? What's it say, Cookie? Something about Charlie Belknap. Never mind. Never mind. He's wasting too much time. How are you going to get him out? What's that, a can of Coke? What is it? A what? A bomb? Folks, you don't want to see him use a bomb on Cookie. You people are sick. Real sick. Wait a minute. Don't light that, Johnny. Johnny, don't light it. Don't. Johnny, Cookie, look out! Oh, my. Cookie! You broke Bernard's toilet seat! And your pants are down, you're exposed, everybody's watching, we're on television tonight, it's a family show, and they're never gonna invite us back to Ashland, Ohio again. Let's have a nice round of applause for Cookie, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him, he's talking to himself again. He's had it. You too, Pete Groce. Yeah, look at him. Oh, I don't know. Poor Cookie's about had it with everybody here. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, and especially boys and girls out here tonight, as we said earlier in the show, Hollywood Stunt World is celebrating the 100th anniversary year of Hollywood. And in doing so, right now, we're going to take you to the television series Spencer for Hire, where at this time we're going to be calling upon a seasoned veteran of the team, Mr. Peter Groce from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, 35 years in the business, as Peter's going to be attempting one of the most, if not the most dangerous stunt that you'll be seeing in the show here tonight. This stunt is known as a deliberate reverse spin. Now, we have borrowed the cruiser from the Ashland Police Department, but we will be returning it immediately following this evening's show, as Peter is going to be attempting a stunt that you've seen many, many times on television in Spencer for Hire, which is known as a deliberate reverse spin. This stunt so dangerous that this is the only stunt during this evening's show in which Peter Groce will be donning the Bell safety helmet for this event. Now, if you listen very, very, very carefully to me, I'd like to explain what Mr. Groce will be attempting for you here this evening. He will take that automobile to the top of the racetrack and place it in reverse. And then, under full speed and power, take it to a point direct in front of the seats for the one split second of spinning wheel, shift the gears, kind of gas, whip it, take it off in the opposite direction, and loss of forward speed and momentum, but he'll be doing it much faster than I said it. So let's put our hands together and send this driver to work, Mr. Peter Groce. Let me explain a little bit slower what he will be attempting tonight. He'll take the automobile to the top of the racetrack and place it in reverse, and then, under full speed and power, take it to a point directly in front of the seats. Within 1 split seconds, he'll spin the wheel, shift the gears, gun it, gas it, whip it, take it off in the opposite direction with no loss of forward speed and or momentum. Reverse lights are on, accelerating out of the top of the turn under full speed and power, 20, 30, 40 miles an hour, and in one fell swooping motion with no loss of speed and momentum, Mr. Peter Groce. Oh, yeah. He'll be returning this time from the opposite direction. Those of you in the front watch as that Dodge Diplomats goes whisking by. Rocks and stones may fly your way. Out of the top he comes now faster and harder than ever. And it's away she goes once again by Mr. Peter Groce out here tonight. Now we're going to introduce you to the controlled reverse spin. He'll bring the automobile back out of the top of the turn, spin it around once and park it right in front of the grandstand on a dime. Let's be prepared to welcome back the reverse spin artist of the century from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. What do you say to the legendary Mr. Peter Groce? Peter Groce from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. And in all that array of twirling, spinning automobiles, he maintained to get the bell helmet off before he stepped out of the automobile out here tonight. Well, right now, they're going to be retiring the police car. And gentlemen, you can have it back now. As we're going to be calling to the racetrack a gentleman who has a very unique stunt in this show. His name is Jim Eitting. He comes to us all the way from Chicago, Illinois. And he's going to be attempting a stunt which is known as the burn. Now, before he comes out on the racetrack, let me ask you folks a couple of questions out here. First of all, let me hear a little verbal response to this question. How many of you folks have ever heard of the movie Friday the 13th? Oh, wait a minute. That was sick. How many of you folks have ever heard of the movie Friday the 13th? There we go, that's better. Now, this next question is just for the kids. Okay, Mom and Dad, zip. What was the name of the main character in that movie? Jason, that's right. Well, tonight Jim Eitting's going to be portraying Jason in The Burn. And this is the way they do it in Hollywood. Behind the scenes, the camera is in this central area here, but behind the scenes, the director is ready. He says, "Are you set?" There comes Jason, murdering, creating havoc. All of a sudden, the cameraman says, "Cut." He goes back. He's down, he's extinguished, and that's the way they do it in Hollywood. Let's have a nice round of applause for Jim Eitting from Chicago, Illinois. Jim Eitting in The Burn out here tonight. Now, at this point of the show, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, I'd like to mention that all of the stunts during this evening's performance are done by professional stunt men and women for your entertainment and pleasure, and should never try to be reconstructed at any time. So tonight, on the way home, Mom and Dad, talk to the kids in the back seat and tell them that these are professional stunt men and women performing out here this evening, and that they should never play with fire and never try any of these stunts with their bicycles, motor scooters, or bikes. Thank you very much. Well, right now, we're going to be picking up the momentum in a very unique form here tonight, as we're going to be calling the beautiful beech nut truck to be brought to the racetrack. And in doing so, it reminds me that tonight's show is brought to you first and foremost by Beech Nut Chewing Tobacco. Now, if you chew, we have beech nut for you. Softer and moister, it's balanced and better. It's America's choice. It's America's #1 chewing tobacco. Now, our beech nut samplers will be available after tonight's performance as you do exit the grandstand area. And if you chew, all you have to do is stop by, and they'll be more than happy to give you your choice of beech nut regular or beech nut wintergreen. Beech nut, the choice of America, the #1 chewing tobacco in America today. As the beautiful 1987 Beech-Nut Dakota comes to the racetrack, the beautiful Beech-Nut truck. And in doing so, we're going to be calling a very talented young man to the Speedway here tonight by the name of Mr. Donnie Breneman from Austin, Texas. As Donnie is going to be recreating the filming sequence for the billboard campaign used by Beech-Nut. Now in this sequence, Donnie Breneman drove this very same Beech-Nut truck. He tipped it up on 2 wheels. Cameramen sat from all angles taking photographs of this. From this, the billboard campaign was put together, where it showed the Beech-Nut truck on 2 wheels, and on the bottom of the billboard it said balanced and better. There were 1,900 such Beech-Nut billboards from one great nation, coast of our nation, to the other. From the Atlantic to the Pacific, 1,900 billboards portraying this Beech-Nut truck on 2 wheels. And tonight, Donnie Breneman is going to reenact for you what he did for the cameras, as he's going to be attempting high skis, aerial wingovers, or in plain layman's terms, the ability to balance and drive a vehicle on 2 wheels. So Donnie, if you're set and ready, let's go to the top of the racetrack, as we'll be attempting a little high ski action out here tonight. Now usually Donnie can put the truck up on 2 wheels and maybe take it halfway to the grandstand, and we'll see how far he can come tonight. But when he does, you'll be able to see that tough undercarriage of that Dodge Dakota. Now this is a stock Dakota. The only modifications that have been made is that the spider gears in the rear end have been welded together so that the truck has constant drive at all times. Let's keep our eyes precariously perched on Donnie Breneman. Carefully aligning towards the ramp elevation. He takes it up in the air like a proverbial bird on the wing, and he'll be setting it down shiny side up and Cooper side down. Donnie Breneman. Oh yeah, putting the Beech-Nut Dakota through its paces tonight. Yes sir, Donnie Breneman. Now ladies and gentlemen, I know a lot of you out there own pickup trucks, and if you do, you're going to know what I'm about to say is true, because you know what that pickup truck is like on the wet grass or the mud or a slippery road? You know how the back end sways and swishes all over? Well, Donnie Breneman has to compensate for that event, and he is the only stuntman in America today who's mastered the art of driving a pickup truck on 2 wheels. Let's watch Donnie now. He takes it up and go, balancing, maintaining, holding the pattern. Donnie's got a good run out there tonight as he takes it up to the fence. Easy. Donnie Breneman, ladies and gentlemen. Well, he's going to bring it in and park it right here in front of you, folks. And one more time. Hey, you've been such a great crowd out here tonight. It looks like Donnie might try it just one more time. Maybe he can extend his distance just a little bit. I remember telling you earlier that Donnie Breneman is the only driver in the world who's mastered the art of driving a pickup on 2 wheels. He's also the only driver who drives driver up. Now, other drivers have mastered the art of driving a car leaning on the door, but watch Donnie. He's hanging from the rooftop with one hand. He must drive, hang, and support his entire body weight on that truck tonight. He takes it up and go. He's hugging the center section of the racetrack, and he'll be setting it down. Easy does. Wait a minute, Donnie, where are you going? Donnie, Donnie, look at this. It looks like he found a groove out there tonight, and that Donnie Breneman, it looks like he's into turn number 4. Now he's coming around the horse barns there, and whoop, there's a lady out there eating a hot dog. Boom. She swallowed that in one gulp, I'll tell you. Well, let's watch him now. Well, kidding aside, ladies and gentlemen, once in a while he takes it to the corner, but tonight it looks like they've got a great racetrack here at your Ashland County Fair. Donnie Breneman is still on 2 wheels. He's on 2 wheels all the way around there in the top of turn number 3 out there tonight. Now, I'm telling you, this gentleman is moving out here tonight, and it looks like he's heading towards that halfway point. It looks like a package of Beech-Nut chewing tobacco on 2 wheels out there this evening. Now, Donnie Breneman is about to go to that halfway mark tonight, and he's passed it. He has gone halfway around this half-mile racetrack on 2 wheels out here tonight. Now, if that Dodge Dakota works that well for Donnie Breneman on 2 wheels, think what a brand new Dakota from Bob Pugh Dodge will do for you on 4. Here he comes now. Stock Cooper tires supporting the entire weight of that truck out there tonight. 98 pounds of air in each one of those tires. And it looks like Donnie Breneman is going to take that beach nut truck for the very first time here at your Ashland County Fairgrounds. The first time in history to have anybody go the full and complete circumference of this racetrack on two wheels. Now, ladies and gentlemen, he's bringing it home. He's bringing it home for you tonight. So let's let him know you appreciate what he's doing here this evening as he brings it right down here, right up to the fence, and he sets it down on all fours. All right. Oh, I'm telling you, Donnie Breneman, ladies and gentlemen, talk about beach nut being better and balanced on two wheels. Our Donnie Breneman is too. Well, you know, ladies and gentlemen, as you're preparing for the next event in the show, we're giving away some special giveaways after the ramp-to-ramp jump portion of our show here tonight. So you can only win if you buy a souvenir program. So souvenir programs are available, so get your copies now for $2 as we're giving away some great products from Shell out here this evening. And the gentleman just carried them across the racetrack, so be sure and get your copies of your souvenir pictorial history and racing program, as that inside cover on that Dodge ad could be a winner for you. Well, right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, direct from Disney Studios in Anaheim, California, and a 2-year tour of Disney on Parade, we proudly present once again Jack Cookie Cook and the Cook Pantomime Comedy Car Routine. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's have a nice round of applause from Tampa, Florida for Jack Cookie Cook and the Cook Pantomime Comedy Car Routine. Jack Cookie Cook and the Cook Pantomime Comedy Car Routine. Right now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to take you from the ridiculous to the rugged. And I do mean rugged, as we're going to be calling upon John McGee. And John comes to us all the way from Las Vegas, Nevada. And John's going to be reconstructing a scene from the Dukes of Hazzard, which is known as the Tower of Courage. Imagine, if you will, in the Dukes of Hazzard, the television sequence where Bo and Lou Duke were racing through the streets of Hazzard with old Roscoe P. Coltrane in hot pursuit. But there was always a gentleman on a ladder changing a street light or washing some windows. Well, the Duke boys, being the great drivers that they were, would always avoid that gentleman. Well, old Roscoe, every time he'd nail that ladder headlong and head first. And what would happen? Well, that stuntman would drop directly from the top of that street light to the firm surface below. But tonight, since we don't have a ladder or a building to lean it against, we've got a high-towered wooden structure. Young John McGee will be standing atop that, donning the Bell safety helmet, will be his only mean of protection out here tonight. As we've got this old junker automobile out here, and that car will go up to the top of the turn with a little help from our fleet emergency vehicle out here tonight. Of course, Ashland Garage and Salvage Company. They're the ones providing all the old automobiles for the smashing, crashing portions of this evening's show. They've got new and used parts and 24-hour towing and all those good things, so give them a call. Here he comes out of the top of the turn, John McGee on that tower. Here comes the old automobile, John! Through and down, and boards fly in all directions. What do you say to John McGee, ladies and gentlemen? John McGee out there this evening, and the Tower of Courage out here tonight at your Ashland County Fair. Well, right now what we're going to be doing, we're going to be taking some of these old automobiles supplied to us by Ashland Garage and Salvage Company. And it looks like we got Jim Moreau out there from Bangor, Maine. And Jim's going to be doing a little roll for us here tonight, something which is known as a controlled roll. Now, this is a scene you've seen many times on the Dukes of Hazzard. You've seen it on Miami Vice and many shows where they rolled old automobiles. But there's two different types of rolls. There's a controlled roll and an uncontrolled roll. A controlled roll is where you take an automobile up, you roll it over, and it lands on all four tires. That's what Jim's going to be attempting tonight. Here he comes out of the top of the turn of that 1975 Chrysler Cordoba. As he aligns it on that ramp elevation, he takes it up. Oh, the ramp slid out. Gentlemen, could you go over and check that ramp? I think it slid out from underneath Jim out there tonight. You can see the boards move just a little bit, causing him to fall off that ramp elevation and not rolling the automobile. So Jim's going to go to the top of the turn now that we've readjusted the ramp for him here this evening. And he's going to be attempting the controlled roll once again for us here tonight. Thank you, gentlemen, for being so kind and helping Mr. Moreau out here this evening. Here he comes out of the top of the turn. Once again, aligning that automobile on that ramp structure out here tonight. Jim Moreau from Bangor, Maine. As he takes that automobile on the ramp, he takes it up, he cranks it. Well, I think we're going to scratch this event, or maybe that the automobile, maybe there's a problem with the suspension out there. And something's not working out there tonight. Yes, sirree, sir. We have a problem somewhere. It could be the suspension, a torsion bar. We're going to pull that automobile out of the side and pull it aside here as we're going to, I guess, scratch this event from the show. Going to pull it on the inside. Going to go, pardon? Okay, here comes our next challenger out here tonight. He takes it on the ramp elevation. He's going to line it out here tonight. He takes it up and over, and that's the way you do a controlled roll. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice round of applause for Jim Eitting. I think it's Jim in the automobile. It's still running. Hey, if he can keep it running, he's going to go for another one out here tonight. Let's send him out for the nice round of applause. Jim Eitting, ladies and gentlemen. He's going to milk that old automobile out there tonight for what it's worth, and he's going to try it one more time out here tonight. Jim Eiting from Chicago, Illinois. Yes, sir, in a controlled roll here this evening, and I'll tell you, that car, there's rods a-knocking and pistons popping, but he's still going to try to keep it going, and he's going to try for that ramp. I don't know if he can get enough speed, but heads up, gentlemen. Yep. Oh, boy, here he comes once again. Come on, Jim, milk it, baby, take it up, crank it, and he does it again. All right, Jim Eiting, and I think it's dead. Is it still running? It's dead. Is he okay? Let's get him out of the car. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a nice round of applause for Jim Eitting from Chicago, Illinois. An 8-pointer out there tonight for Jim. Oh, yeah. You know, as I said earlier, an 8-pointer, when I say that, what these guys do, there's about 4 or 5 of them that compete. They put money in the till every night. Well, at the end of the season, they get 4 points if the car rolls all over. If it goes another one, they get 5, etc., etc., etc. And by that automobile maintaining its running position, Jim got 8 points tonight, and that's going to put him that much closer towards the trophy and the money out here this evening. Well, we're going to move that old automobile off the racetrack, and we're going to get set and ready now for this next upcoming event, as we're going to be bringing the beautiful, beautiful Beechnut truck to the racetrack. And as they do run for that, we've got a very special event here tonight, which we're going to do before we do the Beechnut jump. It's something that you folks haven't seen, and we normally don't do it in our show, but tonight they set it up behind the stage here, and I was unable to see it until now. We're going to be calling upon Jim Moreau once again, and Jim's going to go to his profession now, which is pyrotechnics, as we're going to take you to the movie on Vietnam called Platoon. How many of you folks remember the movie Platoon out there? Okay. Few of you out there, okay. Well, that was a story on Vietnam. And what we're going to do here, we're going to reenact the explosion of a bunker or foxhole scene, just the way they do it for the stuntmen on that movie. Now, this stunt being so dangerous in its severity, we're not going to tell you how we actually do this stunt tonight. But if you would look to my left, to your right, you'll see an aluminum cylinder, located right here to your right of the staging area. Imagine, if you will, is that aluminum structure being a pile of sandbags or a fortress for a soldier. Jim Moreau will be that such soldier, and the only thing he'll be donning tonight for safety is the Bell safety helmet and a leather jacket. He'll place the helmet on his head. He'll get behind that aluminum structure out here this evening, and when he does, he will have the trigger to detonate a heavy explosive device, the same way they did it for the filming of the movie Platoon. And when he does that, it's going to ignite that explosive that will explode exactly the way the bunker would have exploded. Jim will be catapulted 10 to 15 feet from the exploding site, and debris will fly in all directions tonight. So, Jim, are you set and ready? He gives us the thumbs up signal, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to join in counting from 10 to 1. Upon that one signal of 1, then and only then, Jim will ignite that heavy explosive device here this evening. As we join in counting from 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. As the Beechnut safety team quickly races to Jim's side, and you can see he was catapulted 10 to 15 feet from the explosion site, and sometimes the impact does create a small concussion, but they will remove the Bell safety helmet, and we're going to wait to see that Jim is all right out here this evening. Of course, we normally don't do this act each and every show. He's up and all right. Let's have a nice round of applause for Jim Moreau from Bangor, Maine. And that's the way they do it in Hollywood and on television for the filming of the explosion of those war sequences. But right now, we're setting the racetrack for the upcoming events, the gigantic Beechnut Beast, the flight of the beautiful Beechnut truck through space here this evening, up this ramp elevation, 70 feet through space, to come landing on that receiving ramp below. And coming out to the racetrack right now is the beautiful Beechnut truck. We've got a whole fleet of 1987 Beechnut Dodge Dakotas in the infield, and yet this is another one of them. And again, a reminder that tonight's show is brought to you first and foremost by Beechnut Chewing Tobacco. Your choice of regular or wintergreen if you choose, so a reminder when you leave the grandstand tonight, check with the Beechnut samplers if you chew on the way out, and they've got Beechnut for you. Softer and moister, balanced and better. It's it's America's choice. It's America's #1 chewing tobacco. But right now we're going to call to the racetrack Miss Pat Jackson. Pat Jackson's the #1 ranked female stunt driver in America today, bringing thrills and entertainment. Approximately 3 decades. Pat hates me to say that, 3 decades. She's given me that dirty look in there. But she's been a veteran for 26 years. She's appeared on many television series and movies. She's doubled, even on the Dukes of Hazzard. She was Daisy May. Of course, you never saw Pat. You always saw Catherine Bach, but Pat was the one behind the wheel. And what she's going to do right now, she's going to reenact the opening scene from the Dukes of Hazzard, where the General Lee flies over that piece of dirt in the middle of the street in Hazzard. Well, instead of a pile of dirt, we've got this takeoff ramp elevation. Well, at that point in time, Pat will come out of the turn, hit this takeoff ramp elevation exactly the way they did in the opening portions of the Dukes of Hazzard. She'll soar 70 feet through space to come landing on that receiving ramp below. So, Pat, are you set and ready? You okay, Pat? You ready? She's all set. Let's send her off with a nice round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Miss Pat Jackson from the Bluegrass State in Ashland, Kentucky. And I'll tell you, when Pat returns here tonight, she's going to have her work cut out for her. 1 mile an hour too fast, 1 mile an hour too slow could be total destruction for Pat and machine. You must remember that if she's going too fast, she'll completely miss the receiving ramp elevation and land hard and fast on that ramp elevation. But if she's too slow, I don't have to tell you what's going to happen then. She must use her timing, her judgment, her skill, and her experience as she moves to the top of the racetrack. When she comes out of the turn, she won't have time to look at the speedometer. She's going to have her eyes glued on these ramp elevations out here tonight. She must align the Cooper tires directly on this takeoff ramp elevation. As she goes to the top of the turn to measure the distance that she will need, her heart begins to sweat as she comes out of the top, and with every turn of that powerful engine, bringing her closer and closer to the ragged edge of uncertainty. With Lady Luck on one side, the Grim Reaper on the other, we're now prepared for an avalanche of automotive fury, a crescendo of crashing steel. She's down in a beautiful leap, and she sets it down like silk tonight. And in show business, where all the drivers are spectacular, Pat Jackson is superb. And when she parks that truck in front of the grandstand, let's have a nice round of applause for the #1 lady of the raceway, Pat Jackson. Pat Jackson from Ashland, Kentucky. Put the candles out, Pat. Yeah. And a beautiful leap through space out here tonight. And Pat will be retiring that beech nut truck in. We'll be loading it up on our semi with a great deal of our beautiful Dodge and beech nut equipment as we'll be heading off for Grants, Pennsylvania for a big show coming up tomorrow night. But right now, as they're setting the track for the beech nut Monster Beast action out here this evening, I'd like to take this opportunity to mention a few numbers out here. Now, here's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. We're giving away 2 cases of oil, and we're giving away 3 hats, all courtesy of Shell, the Shell distributor in your area, and all those great Shell home heating fuels for home, farm, and industry, and the 5 great locations with that quality Shell gasoline in that SU 2000. Well, we're going to be shutting the Beech Nut Beast off. Now, here's how you can be a winner. First of all, you had to purchase a program. That's the first thing. The second thing we're going to do, we're going to read the numbers. If you're a winner, there's a gentleman right down in front there next to the souvenir table. Bring your program down, show him the number, and you will be the recipient of these fine products from Shell. Now, how do you know where the number is? Take your souvenir program, open it up. On the inside front cover, there's a Dodge Dakota ad. On the bottom left-hand corner, you will see a 5-digit number on that Dodge Dakota ad. If you have the following numbers, bring the program down front to the gentleman, and he will award you your prize. First, it's for a case of Shell oil. The number is 79411. 79411. For another case of Shell oil, the number is 79493. 79493. For a hat, The number is 79728. 79728. For another hat, 79731. 79731. And for the final hat, the number is 79604. 79604. If you have this number on the inside of the Dodge Dakota ad, please bring it down to the front. See Phil. He'll have your cases of oil and your products out there this evening. Now, as we're setting ready for the Beach Nut Monster Bash, before we do, I'd like to take this opportunity to answer a couple of questions most oftenly asked of Hollywood Stunt World. Those questions being, where in the devil do you get your equipment and what do you do to it? Well, the answer to both these questions are quite simple. We purchase our equipment very much in the same way that you do. The answer to the second part of the question, we do nothing to it. All the new equipment which we use on the racetrack are stock production products from Chrysler Motors and the Dodge Truck Division. Now, not only do we use those Dodges on the racetrack, but we use them to carry our 31-foot trailers across the road. We travel approximately 40 to 45,000 miles in an 18-week period. We cover 26 states. We do 114 performances and 103 major state and county fairs. And we've been with Dodge for 35 years. And tonight you saw proof positive what Ram Tough is all about. And tonight we want to tell you that you have one heck of a great Dodge dealer here in town. Pew Dodge, they're located right across the street from the fairgrounds. They've got the full line of 1987 and 1988 quality Dodge cars and Ram Tough Dodge trucks. We have relied on Dodge for 35 years, and we ask, only ask, that the next time you purchase an automobile, and if you own another product from a Chrysler product, just go to Pew Dodge and test drive a Dodge. That's all we ask, and we know that your mind will be made up right then. So for quality engineered products from Dodge, make it Pew Dodge right here in Ashland, Ohio. But right now, we're going to get set and ready for the Beach Nut Monster Mash, and before we do, let me tell you a little bit about this truck out here. It's 13.5 foot high, 12.5 foot wide. It weighs 21,000 pounds. That's a little over 10.5 tons. It's got 22 shock absorbers. It's powered by a modified engine. It's got 5-ton military axles in the front, 5-ton military axles in the rear, hydraulic steering in the front, hydraulic steering in the rear. The truck is insured by Lloyd's of London for a little over $100,000, and no, you can't buy it from Pew Dodge. They don't sell this one. But right now, we're going to get set and ready. And Michael, if you're ready, let's fire it up with a little Beach Nut Monster Mash right here tonight at your Ashland County Fair, as we're going to bring our show to a smashing, crashing, fitting finale here tonight. As he aligns it on these automobiles, he takes it up. Up and over out here tonight, crushing those cars here this evening. Oh, but he's not finished yet. Oh, no, don't get up now. It's not over. Michael's going to turn that truck around. He's going to make a couple more passes over these automobiles out here tonight. Yeah, he's going to come back from the opposite. And you don't want to leave anyway, because the Budweiser Bluegrass Fest is coming up here right on the stage. They've got everything all set up. And you want some of that good kicking bluegrass music, boy, we've got it coming up here right after our show, so don't leave that grandstand. Here he comes now from the opposite direction, Michael Bushey. And he is aligning it on these automobiles. He's going to grind these cars right into this track surface out here tonight. He aligns that 900-pound tires, 900 pounds each, and he's got a power mine in those cars out there tonight. Man, he's crushing those rooftops down. Oh, yes, indeedy, my friend. He's not done yet. He's going to turn around. He's going to bring it back one more time. He's going to put 1,800 pounds of tires right in the rooftops of those automobiles. Those tires are 900 pounds each. They cost $1,937 a piece. Here he comes. Oh, yes, Mike Bushey. He's going to line it up, park it right on the top out here this evening. As we bring to tonight's show the fitting finale, the breathtaking conclusion of Hollywood Stunt World with a smashing, crashing crescendo of nerves and steel. He takes it up and parks it right there. Let's have a nice round of applause for Mike Bushey from Moreau, New York, the gentleman who's mastered the Beach Nut Monster Beast. On behalf of our stunt coordinator, John Anderson Sr., and the entire Hollywood Stunt World crew, we salute you now. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. You've been a wonderful audience as always. As you remember, the big Bluegrass Fest is coming up, but if you must leave, don't forget the souvenir pictorial history and racing programs are available for $2. Beach Nut, Monster Beast belt buckles, and Hollywood Stunt World posters for $3 each. Beach Nut Monster Beast caps are $5 each, and the Beast Nut Beast T-shirts are available in assorted sizes out here tonight. They're available for $6 each or 2 for $10. And don't forget, when you leave tonight, this show was brought to you first and foremost by Beach Nut Chewing Tobacco. The Beach Nut samplers will be at the exit points, and if you chew, you can have your choice of Beach Nut Regular or Beach Nut Wintergreen out here this evening. It's a great fair. Don't forget the bluegrass music coming up right here on the grandstand. On behalf of your announcer, Charles Belknap, thank you so much for attending our show, and remember to drive safely always. Thank you and good night, and plenty of bluegrass music coming up right in a couple of minutes.
Special programming from the 1987 Ashland County Fair is made possible each evening this week.